pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. And keeping our Purple Pants Podcast Pitstop coverage of Amazing Race Season 37, Brooke and I are very sad to be here with one of our favorite teams, the Files Brothers, as I lovingly call them. How are you gentlemen doing today?
We are doing well considering, a little sad, but very happy to be speaking to both of you. You two are some of our favorite people that cover the Amazing Race, and we love you both.
Thank you. It was rough. I mean, honestly, I'm going to say congratulations because I'm going to put a positive. I'm going to take a note from the Zen brothers and put a positive spin on this. You are in a very small elite group of people who left the Amazing Race in a very specific way. There are very few people who get to see Phil on the race course and have their conversation. I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? Like, I'm trying to make it positive because I feel like you've probably been asked 100 times today. Like, so how did it feel to be stuck with the hay for 6 hours? And
Yeah.
just let's talk about whatever you want to talk about.
And now, we've been getting asked about that moment about Phil coming out. And to be honest with you, it was a bittersweet moment, believe it or not, because like Phil said, he was there to take us out of our misery. Yeah. And Mike and I had literally been giving it our all for the last 6 hours in the blazing sun. And it almost felt good to see him so that we can stop.
We had to
because it's not in us to give up. Yeah. So we needed somebody to come in and actually get us to stop doing it. So it was a blessing that he came to stop us because we had already halfway through that got medical attention because we were cramping up and we're dehydrated.
Wow.
So we just kept fighting through it, and seeing him was like, okay, thank God we can stop now. But obviously the bitter part was he shared the news that we wouldn't be running in this amazing race anymore. And that was a tough pill to swallow.
I think another thing I want to talk about is not only did we need medical attention for the dehydration and all that, but Nick's eye was re-irritated from the rice challenge. So one thing that didn't really get a lot of attention was the fact that Nick literally had a piece of rice lodged into his eyeball for 3 legs of the Amazing Race. Wow. And his eye was super swollen.
You never got it out?
No.
So it happened on the rice fields in Bali. Then I had to do the next episode in the beaches of Bali. So that was 2 legs. And then I had to do the whole leg in Dubai as well. And then right after the leg in Dubai, I got an eye specialist to flip my eye open and scrape out all the stuff that was in there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and kudos to him. He did not complain one single time about it.
No, because if you'd said something, they would have aired it. Like, you clearly must have said nothing about it. So
wow. He really did it.
I complained about nothing, and you didn't complain about something really legitimate. That's crazy. Okay, so I have a question.
Yeah.
2 questions. 1, did there come a point where you guys ever thought about just rolling around in that hay or crawling through it and just pushing things out of the way in the hopes? I mean, we saw from above, the drone view. It was a lot of space, but it was all flat at that point. Or did you do that and we just didn't see that part in the airing?
I think us city boys definitely didn't want to get down and dirty in the hay. But one thing, we did get the bright idea that I don't think they showed too much, to get sticks and use the sticks to kind of dig up a little bit underneath. But I don't think it ever crossed our minds to get on hands and knees down there, just because, I don't know. That's just not in our nature.
Also, the hay was extremely irritating on your skin. It was super itchy. So and on top of that, we were literally depleted, 0 energy whatsoever, right? Because you have to remember, right before this, we had done another detour. We carried 400 pounds of wood, ran back and forth 3 times, and then spent hours in the blazing hot sun.
Should have been 2 times.
Yeah,
that's the other thing.
Yeah, we should probably talk about that. That was, I guess, the needle that broke the camel's back, was the fact that we had to go back and do that extra trip. Because if we hadn't done that extra trip, we would have got to that U-turn board before Melinda and Erica, and we were aware that Han and Holden were still there, so we wouldn't have probably U-turn anyone and known that there were two teams behind us, at least, because no one at that point knew Jack and Carson were even in the picture. So yeah, that was unfortunate. And then they ended up beating us to that board by about 15, 20 seconds. And
did you ever think to like scream like Han and Holden are still there, or like do it to them? Like,
in
don't
retrospect,
do it to us.
absolutely. In retrospect, absolutely. But you know, we really didn't think they were gonna U-turn us. It just didn't like. I don't know. We just thought that they saw Han and Holden just like they saw us, but apparently, when as you watched last night, you see them making that decision with the information that basically it was just us and them. So we can't blame them. It was, you know, it's a survival mechanism, and we had to do the same exact thing to Han and Holden right behind us. So we can't blame them for what they did based on the information they had at that point in time.
I think one thing that I love the most about you two is that aesthetically, we'll look at the brothers and we see muscles, and you know, sometimes people think meatheads, right? But I think as we watch the show, we got to see how in touch you guys were with your emotions, and I think that that's what really drew me in. That I was like, you know what, I love the Files brothers, and I think we saw you have some tough times on the race, and you stopped in the middle of it and meditated. For me, that's when I was like, I love them. Can we maybe take 10 seconds and can you walk us through a meditation? Can we do a meditation? Because I want to make sure that we send you positive energy. And I know that your race has come to an end, but it's really just beginning. And I think the world gets to see who you are.
I feel like this is a team that is ripe to be brought back. Like this is when things like this happen through no fault of your own, then I feel like you guys are just so like engaging and lovable that this is an unfinished business team if I ever did see
Thank you.
one.
Yeah, we're trying to manifest that for sure.
Thank you.
We do feel like we have some unfinished business, and thank you so much for saying that about, you know, the meditation stuff, because it is something that kind of throws people for a loop, right? They look at us right away, and you're quick to make a judgment about these Brooklyn guys with muscles. It's like, no, we actually have done some deep work on ourselves and have gone on 10-day silent meditation retreats where we literally sat down for 10 hours a day for 10 days straight. And we did some really deep work, and I'm really just glad that
one of my proudest moments on the race, actually, speaking of like the emotional side, is at the very end when I turned to Nick and I said, "I love you, bro," because I feel like that moment was just so beautiful in the sense that it showed that these two masculine men like don't have to hide their emotions or like hide the fact that they love each other, and that we can just say that to one another and it just be real and not, you know, not have to be afraid to say I love you and actually mean it. That was one of my proudest moments, to like kind of break that BS stereotype that exists out in the world that you shouldn't tell each other that you love each other. Like I kind of want to rewrite the classic bro culture and just, you know, show that love is a part of it. Like we love one another. So what?
And I think we see that in a random topic, but we met obviously at the Brice and Wynn premiere party. And I was nervous to meet you two because I wasn't sure what the energy would be. You know, I'm an openly gay Black man, and I live my life who I am, and what you see is what you get. And so I was super excited to meet you two. And you guys were quiet. And so I'm a nurturer. I'm like, you guys good? You need anything? I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that you were welcomed. And I think the thing that touched me the most, and Brooke knows this, maybe a day later, you guys took the time to send a video, and I think it was like that bookcase was behind it, and you're just like, hey, Brice, it's us brothers. We appreciate it. I called Brooke immediately. I was like, Brooke, the Files brothers, it looked like they might have filmed it twice because they were in sync. It was just like your generosity and just the goodwill of you two really shines through. And so I just wanted to say thank you for sending that message, because it really meant a lot to me in meeting you two and just taking that time to do something so nice and just so little, but I appreciate it.
Thank you. I mean, we appreciate
that bookcase behind you, by the way, because whoever did that is that's real, right? That's not like an image.
Yeah, that's real.
Those are all real books. Yes.
That was
really,
Nick's
I don't know
wife.
where you guys are doing this from, but she is a talented like organizer.
Yeah,
My
that's
OCD appreciates that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No, that's my wife. And Brice, I just want to say we genuinely meant it because we felt truly touched by your invitation and how caring you were when we came to the party. It really does mean a lot to us. And Mike and I, we realized very early in our business career, like it's not about how much success we have by ourselves. We realize that it's about the people that we meet along this journey that's really going to make this all worthwhile, right? And so because of that, we have a tradition every Friday where we stop and we ask ourselves, like, who are some people that crossed our path this week that really made a positive impact on us? And we will send videos to every person that we think of that really touched us that week to let them know, because there's a real power in human connection. And I think in this social media age that we live in, it's very easy to think we're connected, with a message and stuff and so forth. But like to have someone really send a message to you and talk to you and really appreciate you goes a long way.
Yeah, and going back to the meditation stuff, I feel like the more you meditate, the more you can pick up on, the more sensitive you become to people's energy. And when we met both of you that night, we felt a light just coming from you both. So like Nick said, we really meant it when we sent you that love, and we were present for it.
I appreciate it. I remind Brooke every time we talk that the Files brothers sent me a message.
Now we got to do one for Brooke.
maybe one day I'll get myself
Got you.
own message. There's so many things like I want to ask, but like I don't even.
I got one. Mike, are you folding your clothes yet, or is Mom still folding the clothes?
No, that's Nick. Nick gets his
Nick.
See, you can't tell them apart.
I dropped them off at the laundromat.
Okay.
Nick gets Mom to do it. So neither of us are folding our clothes.
I do want to ask you, you talked a little bit about your business career. I did a little bit of research at the beginning, and are you still, there was a charity that you guys had created, I guess, where you were providing, I want to say blankets to veterans and others. Is it still up and running? Can we plug it a little bit? And can you tell everyone just about it for a moment?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you for bringing it up. Yeah. We quit our jobs 9 years ago. They were pretty unfulfilling jobs, and we knew we wanted to do something more meaningful. And 6 months into failing at everything we did, we created this nonprofit called Blankets of Hope. And really what we do more than anything is we teach kids kindness. So what we do is we partner with schools across the country. We send them blankets, and then they go through this 30-minute kindness workshop that we walk them through, where they practice empathy and put themselves in the shoes of someone experiencing homelessness. Then we have them write handwritten letters, or if they're really young, they'll color in pictures for them, attach them to the blankets. And then we finish with a loving kindness meditation where they send love to themselves, their classmates, and the people about to receive the blankets. And then their teachers drop off those blankets to a local homeless shelter in their community. So it doesn't matter if the student is 5, 7, 15, every single kid that goes through this workshop makes a direct impact in someone's life in their community. So that's what Blankets of Hope is. It's been running for 9 years, and to date, we've impacted over 400,000 lives, have partnered with schools in 45 states across the country. And yeah, we're just getting started with it, and we have a lot more impact to make on that side of things.
So that is something that you just described that. So I am a social worker. I work for a children and youth agency. I want to say we received some of your blankets for our families before. Do you ever work with schools in like Pennsylvania, like Montgomery County?
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
because like the handwritten letters and they color
that's us.
That is so crazy.
That's well, not us. Those are our Blankets of Hope ambassadors. These kids, we couldn't do this without the teachers that volunteer and support us and help us really get this message out.
That's amazing. As a social worker, the work does not go unnoticed.
Thank you.
We appreciate that so much. Is there a takeaway outside of like we saw your bond with your brotherhood? Is there a takeaway that maybe you on your individual journeys got out of the race, something that impacted you and you took away from it?
For me, definitely. I think the biggest lesson actually came, it was buzzer beater. It came this morning after reflecting on just the whole journey and like finally getting to the end of our amazing race journey last night. I'll be really honest for a second. Last night, I almost went to bed feeling like a complete loser. And I felt all sorts of negative emotions like shame, like we weren't good enough, like we gave it our all, but it just wasn't enough. Like our parents and our family that were watching, like had no reason to really be proud of us because we came home as losers, just because we got eliminated from the race. And the real lesson that I've learned is that you get to hold the pen to the story that is your life. And whenever you're faced with loss or adversity, you really have two options. You can play the victim card and go down this route of woe is me and tell yourself the story about how you're a loser and how it didn't work out for you, or you can go the other route and choose to give it a different meaning. And I went from we're losers to we're winners just for getting on the show. We're winners because we showed what it means to never give up. We're winners because one day our kids will watch this and see what it means to love one another and to never give up and to treat each other with kindness, to treat other teams with kindness. We won just because we actually made it here. Like we tried for 7 years, we didn't give up, and we're here. And so I decided to take that pen and write a completely different story this morning. And I'm feeling a lot better than I did last night when I went to bed. So that's been the biggest lesson for me, is moving forward whenever I'm faced with something that feels really shitty in that moment, take that pen and just rewrite that story in a way that really empowers me. Because at the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to. It's not what happens to you, but it really is how you respond to it and the story you tell yourself about that thing that matters.
Yeah. And to go off that, it's really what we decide to focus on, right? We could focus on, the one piece of wood. We can focus on the fact that we went home last night, or we could focus on the fact that we just got a care package today from a kid in Idaho who has special needs and said that he's a huge fan of ours and sent us this beautiful care package with like all
Idaho potatoes.
Idaho. And like the fact that we've really made an impact on people's lives just by being ourselves and showing people the love we have for one another. It's really powerful stuff.
Can I just say, we do a lot of these interviews and talk to a lot of people, and they're good, if I do say so myself. That's not my point. My point is, you don't routinely feel like uplifted or changed from them. I legitimately feel like I am going to change my mindset having had a conversation with the two of you. So there's a point where you feel like, we weren't super successful, or it didn't go our way, or we're losers, we disagree, wholeheartedly disagree. You have absolutely changed my mindset, and it has been an absolute pleasure talking with you and getting to meet you, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. I have some friends who are teachers here in New York City, so I would like to talk to you a little bit more about getting involved with your charity, because I have done some stuff that is similar, but on a much, much smaller scale. But for me, this was, I had all these questions about, did Phil show you where the bracelet was before you left that day, and other stuff about the race, but who even cares? Like, that's not even important. What's important is the rest of this. So just thank you guys for just making me feel good today. This was
you just made our day.
Ditto to what you said. We feel the same way about both of you. You both have such amazing energy, and you really show so much love for the work you do, and it matters. So thank you.
And for the record, no, we didn't ever get to see the bracelet.
Well,
thank you. You really just made our day. Thank you.
Absolutely. This has been such an impactful conversation, and keep your heads up high. Y'all are kings and y'all are winners. This has been the Purple Pants Podcast, and we'll see you soon.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you.
Peace.
It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You better listen in public, might make your stomach hurt. Ooh. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to unwind, you better get that box wine. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to get your snack, you better hurry right back though. It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants.